I decided for a change of pace that I wanted to do a movie review for the site. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. There's plenty of movies that you can review out there, but there's one in particular that I really wanted to do. And that was because no one was talking about it, it was very, very strange, and it was just bad enough that I could really wring out a lot of enjoyment from just tearing it apart, as I do with other bad games, as you've seen from my previous reviews. I had no idea what kind of fucking rabbit hole I was about to go down, though. Because I'm gonna tell you, no joke, you cannot watch the movie that I'm about to review. When I first wanted to review this, I figured, well, I hadn't seen it since August of 2019, so I had to go back and watch it again. Started off with Netflix, didn't find anything there. Went to Google, didn't find anything there. Went on Amazon and found... what the fuck? Now, this was particularly odd to me, because any film that had come out in that time frame had already been released on DVD and Blu-ray and digital, and films that even came out after that movie had the same thing. So I was thinking, maybe it's only on one or so sites. Not every site is going to be carrying this, so I went exploring some more. It isn't fucking anywhere, alright? It's not on YouTube for purchase or rent, it's not on Google Digital Media for rent or purchase, it's not on Amazon Prime for streaming, rent, or purchase. It's not available to purchase as a DVD or Blu-ray on Amazon, or on Google Marketplace, or at Best Buy, or Target, or Walmart. I went on Netflix, nothing there. I went on Hulu, I went on HBO Max, nothing there. I decided to go to eBay, and you know what I found? I found the poster for the movie. But not the actual movie itself. Lo and behold, I decided, well, where else would you want to find a movie? Oh, right. So I went somewhere that you're probably not supposed to go for movies, and they didn't have it either, only having copies of the game ECCO the Dolphin for pirating. Yar. So all this just seemed particularly bizarre, so I thought, well, maybe I'm misremembering when it came out. Maybe I saw an advanced screening, not a big theatrical release, and it was maybe gonna be coming out later, but no, that was the full release of the movie. It definitely came out in August of 2019, and it had been over a year since I decided that I wanted to watch it, and it has never taken a movie that long to go from theater to digital or physical release. So I'm thinking, okay, I cannot find it digitally, I cannot find it physically, I can't even buy it from some less reputable sites, which I've had to do in the course of finding other shitty movies. And I'll tell you, that is what is particularly perplexing about this movie. I have never had trouble finding shitty movies before. To name a few movies I had less trouble finding, I was able to find a movie called Aladdin and the Adventure of All Time, which is, no joke, like a combination of the cutscenes from Zelda CDI mixed with Disney's Aladdin and also Page Master?
I could have you arrested for shoplifting.
Sorry, Wordsworth, but once I picked you up, I just couldn't put you down.
Polly, help! I can't swim!
I found that on eBay for 1 cent. The shipping cost more than the movie itself to get that one. I was able to find a copy of Candy Claus, which is a pilot for a series that never took off about the adopted daughter of Santa, and there's also a villain who isn't Gargamel, who just terrorizes Santa for like no reason.
Hey, yo! Oh no, it's oh no. Go home, will you please? I'm too tired for pranks.
Watch this.
Oh no, what are you doing?
Who? Me?
There's a movie out there, a horror movie that was like super indie, never screened hardly anywhere, called Fear No Evil. It's this dude who's like the devil, but he doesn't know it, and he's like turning more evil when he turns 18, and his powers are making his coach so fucking alpha Chad that he feels the urge to kill one of his beta students with a dodgeball.
What's the matter with you? Don't let go! Don't let go! No! 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 Get away! You little son of a bitch!
And who could forget such classics as Ninja Zombie, which did not have a release anywhere until this particular DVD. So I want you to keep in mind what I've been able to find with my own methods here, and to say that if this movie defied it, there's some shenanigans going on. I decided I needed to do some digging. I went to the IMDb page and looked up some info about who made it and what else they're known for to see what was going on. This was produced by Citadel, and they have made nothing except for this movie. The movie was shot in Seattle and distributed out of a company based in Seattle. This company has done nothing before, nothing since. And here's the thing. The company is still active. I know that for two reasons. Let's start with the first one. Having run out of any way for me to find this movie, I decided, fuck it. I went to the Citadel page, their own website, because while the regular website for ECCO used to work, it no longer does. Even though the links that I have in Discord from before I was researching this movie showed that it was still active as late as November of last year, 2020. But the Citadel site still works. And there's only a single film on their entire website, and every single screenshot on the site is from the movie ECCO itself. So on their contact page, I decided, hey, I would like a review copy of the movie. And I said as an alternative, if you don't have those, I would just like to know a way to purchase the movie. You know, I don't necessarily want it for free. I'd like it since I'm reviewing it, but whatever. I'll buy it. It's worth it. I could get all sorts of yucks out of actually having the footage to work with, and even if I can't use the footage for DMCA reasons, at least remembering the entire plot of the film from a fresh watch would be useful. And here's the thing. I did get a response within 2 hours of me sending it. They said, and I quote, "Good afternoon. Thank you for reaching out to us. As of now, we have delayed the release of ECCO on VOD due to the COVID environment we are all facing. Our goal is to get it out for all to enjoy as soon as possible. I can let you know when that is when we decide on a launch date. Also, we no longer are doing screeners, but look forward to hearing your review when it's on VOD. We appreciate your patience. Take care." Now that was very polite and addressed everything I was asking for. But it raises a question. Why? Why is specifically meaning why wouldn't you release it on VOD due to COVID? I say that because every major studio has had some form of digital release that they have done in conjunction or in opposition to a theatrical release. After all, not every theatrical release has panned out very well, and some places don't even let you see movies based on the restrictions that their state has, so it's perfectly reasonable to not release it in theaters. And if you don't have the funding for a physical release, that also makes sense. You need some investors, some capital, some ways to actually print the media that you're trying to distribute, whether it's DVDs, Blu-rays, what have you. So that's all reasonable. But the digital distribution makes no sense. Here's how it works. A company who has the media will give rights to distribute that media to whatever platform they're on, whether it's Google, YouTube, Amazon, what have you. Then, the digital distribution platform will take a cut of whatever revenue is made from that title, and then give the rest to the media owner. The percentages are going to vary based on what platform you're on, and I don't have specific numbers because I don't argue their contracts. But what it comes down to is the person who is giving the rights to distribute that media to that company do not pay to have it hosted on that company's servers. They don't necessarily make someone from Fox as their distributor pay for them to host it on their servers. Because if I buy a copy of the movie, they just take, say, $5 out of the 20 that I paid them, and then they give the rest of it to there. Because that's the incentive for them to host on the platform in the first place. With that in mind, the movie's done. Alright, I didn't see, like, an early test version of it. I saw a full theatrical release. So if they have the movie, and it's complete, and they can host it for free on any given digital distribution site, especially prevalent during COVID, why wouldn't they? I should have it be known, some movies have done better under digital distribution because of COVID than they would have if it was a theatrical release. You can see my citing here of Trolls 2 being more financially lucrative than the first one due to it releasing here digitally. It's actually crazy to think that that's a valid excuse for this. But to go even further, it's not like the company doesn't have the ability to operate anymore. Some people have suggested to me that maybe the company went bankrupt, but that's bullshit. I checked their business listing. They are still an active LLC operating also out of Seattle, Washington. In the midst of my digging for more info on this movie, I came across the Rotten Tomatoes page, hoping it would link me to a store page to watch it, only linking me back to the 70s film with the same name. And I decided to take a look at the user reviews, because I saw, wow, that's actually much higher than the critic reviews percentage-wise. And it's full of rave reviews, a lot of 5-star reviews from these ones here, you can see with that. Let's take a look at this particular reviewer. They sound like they have a good stance on art and other things. Oh, it's the only thing they've ever reviewed. And they reviewed it the exact same month that the movie came out. Huh. Weird. Let's check another one. Let's see if this is also another 5-star review. That was the only review they've ever done the same month the movie came out. Alright. It's a fluke. Alright, it's just 2 of them. Let's check. I'm noticing a trend here. Alright, look, I'm not one to, like, jump to conclusions. Okay, ignore the rest of this video, but if this is accurate as far as how many of these I have been willing to go through, a significant number of reviews for this movie are 5-star reviews from people who have not reviewed anything else, and that is a mite suspicious. So what did this mean? Well, all my avenues of looking for it failed, directly checking with the distributor failed, looking for less than scrupulous means for it failed. I had no other recourse at the time but to go out on my own. Something you should know about the way theaters operate is, these days all of it is primarily digital. They don't get film reels anymore, they get hard drives that contain copies of the film. Put it into their projector, it shows the film, then when distribution is done for that movie, they send it back to whatever companies that distributed it to them in order to keep in with their contracts. Usually they can just recycle those, you know, just take them, clean them, scan over a new movie and send them out. That is the primary method for most films. With that in mind though, you have a large server in which you can keep movies on for these places. After all, you wouldn't just necessarily have it all read from the hard drive. It wouldn't be the most efficient that way. This is also how you have movies that are replayed or re-released or played a little bit past their usual date at some off-the-wall theaters. With that in mind, some places are still going to have access to movies that they have played in the past. It's entirely possible, but slim that the theater I went to still has it. I talked to the manager of the theater I saw it at, an AMC and decided to go sleuthing. Let's go investigate. So I donned my completely stereotypical sleuthing jacket, like the complete autist that I am, and decided to go investigating. I had a very lovely discussion with the manager of the theater there, only to reveal jack fucking shit. See, it turns out they actually had movies from every single release that they've done over the past 3 years, from major releases and indie films, except for one. I'll give you a single guess as to what it was. This broke my will so hard that I broke out into song. I am truly a broken man. Later, they had reached out to me saying that while their individual theater may not have it, I could reach out to their private screening division and see if they hold on to them. The AMC Theater Distribution Company will hold on to certain films, in this case, modern films and classics. They would have the biggest library of films available for any given reason that you can request or view for them. The manager had said, if anyone's gonna have it, it's them. So I reached out to them, and they had told me they do not have it, and they have no plans to screen it in the future at all. But, last ray of hope, they had told me for a fee of at least $700, they can reach out to the distributor and ask for a single screening license. Now, I could have as many people in theaters as I want, and fees for that are going to vary, but for the most part, that would basically mean I am willing, if I said yes to this, to give them $700 as a minimum just to watch this movie once. So I said, give me a quote. Reach out to them, see if they're willing to do it, and what price they want for it. I am not committed to paying for it right now, but I would very much like to know what their asking price would be. Please and thank you. And you know what they said? They said no. That's right. They said no. I can't finish this fucking movie. I wanted to buy it legally. They said no. I want to stream it legally. They said no. I wanted to watch it illegally, and I couldn't find it. And when I went through every route possible, and even was potentially willing to pay them more than $700 fucking dollars to watch it once, they said no. So, completely out of options, I decided my last Hail Mary was to send a message to the director of the movie. I have not heard back in over a month. For what it's worth, if this movie was widely distributed, I'd probably tell you it's bad and not to watch it, but I do genuinely wish I had it available here. But that's the thing about this, alright? I am so flabbergasted by this. I refuse to believe that there is no way to watch this movie, alright? There have been some things that have been lost as far as media because of, tapes burning in the fire, or, master copies being lost due to fucking espionage or some shit. This reeks of some conspiracy bullshit. But I have amassed the evidence, and I will not rest until I find this movie. It's gotta be in here, in the clues, somewhere. Alright, listen, alright, I know it seems like I've exhausted all my leads. That's alright, there has to be something here. I refuse to accept that this movie can't be watched anymore. Fuck. I have to be missing something. Somewhere on this board or on the internet, there has to be some clue as to where the fuck I can watch this fucking movie. And now you know why I had to obscure my face and do this weird, creepy, chromatic bullshit. I have to hide my identity, cause I bet you this whole entire thing is a method to drive a man mad. It's driven me crazy. And if they come looking for me, they'll know that I know too much. That I know that they put this movie out there, and then they removed it everywhere, wiped its existence from the internet. Alright, but that's the thing. If I know too much, and you've been following me along with this, now you know too much. Nobody is safe. Flee while your mind is still intact, and do not drive yourself insane looking for a mediocre spy thriller. Otherwise, you'll end up like me. Now that the review of me going crazy is over, genuinely, if anyone finds a copy of this movie, just let me know. I want to watch it. Like, it's not great, but it would be very fun to watch again. It has a cool twist, I dig it, assuming that this movie isn't genuinely some sort of like tax fraud scheme or something, I do hope that they release it someday. See you next time.